Let's all agree to break the algorithm. Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick, and happy Thanksgiving to you all, and a Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate, and even to those of you who don't. I am not going to get into the train of not wishing people a Merry Christmas because they don't celebrate Christmas. You know what? It's the joy of the season for me, and I wish to spread that joy to you. If you do not feel joy when I say Merry Christmas, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not Jewish. I don't celebrate Jewish holidays, but if you were to wish me a happy Hanukkah, I would say shalom, my friend. Shalom. I don't think you really wish people a happy Ramadan, but if you do, and I would love somebody to tell me if you do wish people a happy Ramadan, then I would say wonderful. I feel the joy that you feel for your religion, and I am glad to share that joy with you. So, anyways, Merry Christmas. Welcome to the holiday season. I said let's break the algorithm. I think it's a good idea. Why is it a good idea? Well, because, quite frankly, it's too much. It's too much. My dad and I were having this discussion over the weekend. Now, none of you probably have discussions with my dad, except for those of you who are relatives, and then you know the joy of having a discussion with my father. He's a very smart man with much general knowledge and with much specific knowledge. It's actually, for someone like me who is double degreed, it is quite annoying. It is quite annoying because I know things. I know many things. I know a plethora of things. And yes, I pronounced plethora weird. Get off my back. I know a plethora of things. Somehow, all the things I know, he also knows. It gets annoying. But it's annoying in a way that is also enjoyable because then it leads to great discussions. And we discussed social media this weekend over coffee, which I've just had my third cup, which is why I am so buzzed with excitement. I'm also traveling today, so I have to pack, and I'm ignoring packing to do this, which is much more enjoyable to me. Anyway, I said break the algorithm. We were talking about social media and talking about how the worst part about social media is not even so much that it's the evil corporations manipulating us into taking in this information. No. It's us creating our own echo chambers. It is the hell of our own design. The algorithm wants to feed you things that you interact with, that really get the juices going, right? It feeds you stuff. It feeds you stuff. If you click on Democrat-leaning posts, well, you must be left or you must enjoy those posts. So it's going to feed you more of those. It's going to feed you more and more and more until eventually you're saying, "Hail, comrade." I don't know. When you get to the left, I'm not familiar with that side of things as much. I'm not familiar with the far left, I should say. I know what socialism is, all that good stuff. But you get to that point at which the algorithm starts feeding you, and it turns into a feedback loop, and it snowballs. I'll give you an example, and an example that's not going to involve the left wing of politics. It involves me and the right wing of politics. For those of you that don't know me, here's my stance on the Second Amendment. It's changed somewhat over the years. I used to be very staunchly Second Amendment. I still believe in the Second Amendment, but I understand that there are going to have to be concessions because the problem has gotten out of hand. The problem has gotten far out of hand. It needs to be brought back in. All options should be on the table, even a constitutional referendum. I don't, however, think that you should just unilaterally be able to cancel civil rights, as they tried to do in Arizona. Go look that up. It was insane. It continues to be insane. Sidebar. If you can cancel the Second Amendment, I don't care if you don't like the Second Amendment. Right now, it's considered one of the fundamental civil rights. And if you can cancel any civil right, or if you can cancel one of the civil rights for emergency reasons, you can cancel any of the civil rights. You can suspend free speech. You can suspend the Fifth Amendment. You can suspend the Fourth Amendment. You can suspend all of them. That is how legal precedent works, and why it's so important, even in a case where you don't necessarily believe in the underlying thing. Yes, say to yourself, yes, we should change the Second Amendment. However, because it falls into this bucket, we need to protect this bucket, remove it from the bucket later, and remove it the proper way to ensure that it stays that way. Okay. Back to the algorithm example I was giving. I was very staunchly Second Amendment, and I was in a bunch of groups on Facebook back in my law school days. So this was even 2013, 2014. So like the algorithm wasn't even that big of a thing yet, or we didn't understand it yet. So on Facebook, I start getting suggestions from more of these groups, and these other groups just start inviting me. I'm like, oh, this is great. More pro-gun, Second Amendment people. This will be awesome. I'll get to connect with people around the world. This will be exciting. I get to talk Second Amendment law. But it started to get weird because the assumption the algorithm made was, well, if you like guns, you must also like this. So let's suggest this too. And it just started stretching. It started deepening. It started getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And all of a sudden I started hearing those dog whistles, what they call in discussion, they call dog whistles. I started hearing the dog whistles of like white nationalism, but just dog whistles, things that were suspicious that I was keeping an eye on. And I was like, it's a little weird, but I'm going to approach with caution. Until eventually one of the groups that invited me to join was just straight up white nationalist. It was basically a KKK group. And for the kids who don't know what the KKK stands for, Ku Klux Klan. It was the white nationalist group du jour for the 60s, 70s, 80s, going far back into the Civil War. Terrifying group of human beings. The fact that they still exist is both a testament to the protections of free speech and a terrifying thought. But all of a sudden I had even a tangential connection to this, and I realized the tailspin I was in, and holy crap, I had to pull myself out. At that moment, deleted my Facebook. It helped that I also had to study for the bar exam at the time. But I deleted my Facebook right then and there. Just said, if the algorithm's going to take me down this rabbit hole, I'm just going to pull the parachute. I'm going to jump out of the plane. We're going to let it go. Jumped out, deleted it, reset the whole thing. I had to study for the bar exam anyway, so I took about 6 months off, let it all reset. It's much more normal now, but that happened. And if I wasn't careful and aware of it, you got to remember, I was 22 at the time. I was an adult. I could understand what was happening. I could understand what was happening, and that these people who were being friendly, not so friendly, not so great. That happens to 13, 14, 15-year-olds and younger. And younger. Can you imagine a 9-year-old being caught in these groups with all these dog whistles? They wouldn't even know enough to know something was wrong. They would just know they were making a bunch of friends. So I opened this all by saying, let's break the algorithm. The example in my own life should tell you why breaking the algorithm is so important. I want this to catch some momentum. Will it? I don't know. But, I don't know, hashtag break the algorithm. Like, let's get some momentum behind this and actually say, let's take a break. Let's pick a day. Doesn't matter what day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever. Pick a day, and as many people as possible for 24 hours, no social media. You can check your email, make your FaceTime calls, but no social media. None whatsoever. Stay away from it. Break the algorithms of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Don't interact with anything. For one day, let the farms of those places lay fallow. Fallow being a word meaning barren. For one day, for 24 hours, I'd be curious what would happen to those algorithms if they didn't have any interaction for 24 hours. And I'd be even more curious what would happen to us as human beings. We may find we don't need it. Anyways, I have to go pack. I'm flying today. I'm flying back to the West Coast. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have yourself a great day. Many wishes of the holidays. See you Tuesday.